I just woke up one night and I couldn't walk and I was feeling dizzy and I was nauseous. And so my mom dragged me to the hospital, and I immediately got taken from the emergency room to get an MRI done. And it was quite fast that I got diagnosed. Hi, my name is Arifa, and this is my story with multiple sclerosis.
Ever since you forgot.
I got diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in 2018. It was a month after I graduated from high school, so it was quite difficult for me. I just woke up one night and I couldn't walk and I was feeling dizzy and I was nauseous. And so my mom dragged me to the hospital, and I immediately got taken from the emergency room to get an MRI done. And it was quite fast that I got diagnosed. It was quite obvious from the scan that I had multiple sclerosis, which is one thing I'm grateful for, that my diagnosis process was quite fast, whereas for some people it takes months or even years to get a diagnosis of what's wrong with them. So once I got into the emergency room at the hospital, they checked me in as an inpatient and I was there for 5 days. I was in the ICU for 2 days because I was puking a lot and I was very weak. And my doctor immediately told my mother the diagnosis. However, he didn't immediately tell me. After 2 or 3 days in the ICU, he came up to me and he explained that I had multiple sclerosis, and I had never heard of it before when he told it to me. And I was almost in shock, I guess. My whole left side became like unfunctionable, almost not paralyzed, but I couldn't walk, I couldn't move my arms. I was feeling quite dizzy. I would like try to grab something, but I would end up grabbing to the side of it. And so it was quite unexplainable of what it was. But we did immediately know that it was a neurological disorder because it was of the way my arm was reacting. The first one, which was quite intense, was a self-injection called interferon. I would have to every night take an injection and inject on the side of my thigh, which is quite hard for an 18-year-old to inject themselves with medication. And it wasn't fun, and it caused a lot of side effects. Like I would get high fever, my body would shake, I would feel sick, and it wasn't really helping the symptoms that I was experiencing, which was not being able to walk, having difficulty with my aim and my balance. So I was using it, but I didn't see the effectiveness of it, even though I was using it. I honestly lost hope at one point because no matter how much medication I was taking, no matter how much I was focusing on my diet and my health, nothing seemed to be improving the symptoms. I was just kind of preventing another attack from happening, but nothing was helping me with the current issues that I was facing. I already kind of knew about homeopathy because of my grandmother, but I had never taken it as an option for me until my mom's best friend. She suggested that I should go see this homeopathic doctor because she has healed many patients with many different diseases. And honestly, she was my savior. When I went first to go see her, she was very adamant that I would completely be healed. But I was so skeptical because I was going through like 6 months of struggle of being diagnosed and then having medication, having side effects, and nothing seemed to work. I didn't really take it so seriously. But then when I went to her and I started following what she did, I did start seeing improvements because of it. I would say the last 7 years since my diagnosis, I go to my doctor like once every 3 months and I tell her my symptoms that are bothering me in that time, and she gives me certain mineral salts that she believes will help those symptoms and help my body naturally heal them. The good thing about homeopathy is that it has no side effects, and it does help the symptoms that you're currently going through, which is what I enjoyed about it as an alternative to taking the immunosuppressants. The homeopathy process was quite simple in the sense that I would just take my mineral salts every night, and so it wouldn't taste like anything, and it was quite easy. But doing the homeopathy process and having to stick to a diet which she had recommended, which was gluten-free, dairy-free, red meat-free, sugar-free, and high-fat, was quite intense. I think the high-fat diet is really the core of healing for MS because your brain is made out of phospholipids, so having high fats such as ghee, such as salmon, avocados, really build the phospholipids in your brain and help repair the damage that MS has caused. So I feel like without nutrition, without the correct diet, homeopathy would not be as effective as it was. I got into remission, I think, a year and a half after starting homeopathy and being diagnosed. And this is because I was quite consistent with my diet, with the homeopathy medication. I was doing yoga like 3 times a week, really trying to calm my mental health down. And while doing all of that together, and like being around my family and being at home, I went into remission. And I actually was told during another homeopathy appointment, my doctor told me, "Arifa, I don't think you have MS anymore." And I was sobbing. I was crying my eyes out, and my mom was sitting right next to me as usual, and she was crying looking at me too. And when we got into the car after that appointment, I just looked at her and I was like, I can't believe it. How can, like, in a year and a half, I can go from not being able to walk to being able to walk, not being dizzy, to being told I'm normal again. It almost felt like a dream. It didn't feel real. My hope for the future is to continue taking it one day at a time with my health, with my homeopathy journey. Trust in the process. I think many times I've had doubts that my symptoms will stay forever and will never come back, but it always eventually does get better.